I know.
No, if they were here.
Staff meeting or
No,
something.
yeah. I'm not showing any of the other teachers. I'm just kidding. Say whatever you want.
Not part of your grade.
Okay, so this is talk about finding a school, the right fit for you and your child. We used to call it kindergarten readiness, which I never liked because I don't think we need to get our children ready for kindergarten. They need to be ready for our children. Then we did, I don't know, I called it something else. And anyway, like school ready for your child. And so this year I renamed it finding the right fit for you and your child. So, and this is applicable to just kind of checking in with where you are and your child is right now with the school that they're currently in, which is us. I think you should always be questioning, is this the right fit? Is this the right fit? And also thinking about what the next step is for your child, whether they're going on to kindergarten or Ms. Kathy actually came to one of my first discussions that I did because she had never heard this talk. You know, as teachers, we're teaching the class when the other teachers are giving discussion, but she happened to be available and she's like, I want to come hear it. And her daughter was in the process of applying to colleges at the time. So she was like, this was so helpful for me. You know, so it really is, you know, it can be beneficial. So I hope you get out of it something that is helpful. First, I have a couple of housekeeping things I just want to go through, some notes, and then we'll get to the meat of it. I want to do introductions after I do the housekeeping so that maybe more people will show up and then we can introduce. Just want to remind you that the third quarter fees are due on Friday the 15th. So if you don't already have Tuition Express, please take care of it with the office or let us know if you want to add days or switch days or anything like that. Otherwise, you will just be automatically charged if you're on Tuition Express. If your child attends more than 3 days a week in team and you have to sign up for additional work days, please let one of the teachers know which days you would like to do that. We have a fundraiser coming up on Wednesday the 13th at Sharky's in the Jans Mall. So you guys all have flyers in your cubbies, and I always attach the flyers on the Shutterfly website just in case you lose it. You can always
accidentally shred it.
Yeah,
like I did today.
And we always
started going through it and
and speaking of Shutterfly, I realize that it's sort of the blessing and the curse, and we're trying to figure out ways to tweak and improve things. So we like this site. We think it's a great site for parents and teachers to use, and we have the calendar on there, and you guys can post photos and videos and stuff. But the amount of emails can be overwhelming. So we're going to try and train you guys to, if you're going to be late, if your child is sick or you are sick, just email the teachers. And then if you need to reply to someone, instead of replying all, there is a button that you can say reply to sender. You just have to scroll down a little bit. So just thought I'd throw that out there, and if we slowly, you know, I know sometimes you just, oops, I replied all, or oops, and then there's thousands of emails, and it happens, but you kind of get used to what you have to pay attention to and what you don't. So I appreciate all your patience with that. If you know of a better system for us to use for a classroom, please let us know. We are always open to change and difference. Some things coming up which are also on the Shutterfly calendar, and you'll get information in your boxes as I get closer to. We're having Valentine's Day parties on February 10th and 11th. And I don't want you to freak out when you get a little thing in your cubby that says make Valentines. You don't have to make them for 85 children in the classroom. We just ask that you make, I think they ask for like 3 to 5 per child per day that your child comes. So if your child comes on that Wednesday and on that Thursday, you would make 3 to 5 per each day that they're attending for the party. And how we do it is we call it fishing for Valentines, but it's just a Valentine, whether one you make at home or you buy, and we give you the popsicle sticks and you glue them on it. So it's like a stick on a card. That's all it is. And we call it fishing for Valentines. It always throws the parents off. They're like, what? How do I make a fish Valentine? You don't have to make it in the shape of a fish, although that's adorable if you do. And then what we do is every child gets to actually fish for 3 Valentines, and that's how we do it. So it's not overwhelming. So just put like, to my friend, Love Cassidy, you know? Don't put a name to the person. It'll be just randomly. Okay? And they love it. It's very cute. We also don't have school Friday, February 12th and Monday, February 15th for someone's birthday. Maybe President? Maybe Emma King? Okay. We're gonna have vision screening come up in February. I believe we do an opt-in form for that. So if you absolutely don't wanna have, your child screened. Just for vision, and it's a very basic, any big red flag type things, like can their eyes track and things like that. I mean, we always say definitely follow up with your eye doctor, but sometimes we've caught Cade. We caught him, her friend that was in the class, her little boy, and it was huge. It was a depth perception thing for him, and couldn't figure out this kid's so clumsy, and he needed glasses. So how would you know? Maybe that's what I need. We did book a train field trip to the Fillmore Hatchery in March, hoping that El Nino has calmed down by then. If it is raining, we will not go on that field trip. It's a very treacherous drive down Grimes Canyon, and we won't put anyone at risk. But having said that, it is still considered a field trip day, which is a Thursday, and we will not have regular class. We'll have it in the classroom, because it'll be raining, we can't go to park or something else. But we'd ask that everybody stay with their child, because we won't have workers that day, because everyone would be planning that's a field trip. Got that? And we'll let you know too. It is Thursday, March 3rd.
Thursday's my birthday.
Yeah. Okay. So you would just need to have somebody accountable for him. Book fair, March 14th through 18th. I'm hoping that my good book fair chair,
Oh, hey.
Charlotte,
Book fair.
is going to head it up again.
I'm good.
And
Yay.
she'll get you guys all hopefully to help out in that. We've scheduled our team talk in March. We are also waiting to hear back from confirmations on additional field trips as well. And we'll let you know as soon as we know what those dates are. We're trying to keep them, we like to do like some free and some nominal pay. So if you know of any great places that do a field trip, let us know. We'd love to, always open to new things too. Let's see. We got an email from the office asking that if you use the adult bathrooms, which are facing this way, are you familiar on the corner here? And then there's a male bathroom facing the gate that comes into the driveway, that you please not bring your child with you. If you have your child with you and you need to use the restroom, please use the child and adult bathroom. Because we share the campus with the adult school, and we have a lot of elderly elderly students on campus, and they're doing yoga and things, and we just need to have like a separate bathroom that children don't go to. So I'm sorry about that, but I like to call it a spa day when I have to use the restroom. I don't have children like, I'm gonna go to the spa. It's a nice little perk that we have. We never had it, so it's new to us. Come on, brand new. It's the little things. I love this place. Just a reminder to try and be on time on your work day. On time means 8:50, if possible, so that parents that need to drop off at 9 can drop off. If we don't have parents here working, we can't supervise the children properly. So just in respect, I mean, we understand things come up, people run late. We don't want you to get in an accident or a ticket on the way over here, but if you can try and plan to be here before 9, that's helpful for everyone. What else? Rainy days. So it doesn't just mean on the days it's rainy. So like today and tomorrow and maybe even Monday, you're gonna wanna pack your child some rain boots, possibly, flip-flops, even better, if it's not cold, because they're gonna get muddy. The grass is gonna be muddy, the hill is gonna be muddy. Now we close the hill when it's really muddy, but sometimes kids still get up there, even though it's closed and parents are trying to watch. We don't really have anything to physically block the whole hill. So, rain boots are pretty fun. Kids love them. So I just wanted to, I know a lot of kids came to school with their brand new tennies after Christmas, and parents are like, you bought your new shoes, man. Gonna happen. So, okay, that's enough of that housekeeping stuff. These ladies will be marked down, so don't worry. You're here, that's all that matters. So you just missed all the housekeeping stuff, and I will.
Only thing you really need to know is book fair.
Yeah, book fair.
Now. I can't really. Don't forget to sign.
Did you see anybody else from the book fair?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to close it because it's cold, and hopefully if anybody else comes, they'll just. You're also being videotaped, just so you know.
Yeah.
It's only for parents who can't be here.
There is coffee and snacks if you guys feel free to get up at any time when I'm talking. I don't take offense easily, so do what you have to do. Use the restroom, get up and use it, leave it open, get food, get water, whatever you need. Stretch, lunch, there's some lunches. Okay, so first of all, I want to acknowledge you all again for being here. This is not an easy task, I know, to come to an additional time to give to the school. You guys give so much every single day you're in this class. We're so lucky to have you and your children in our class, and we just love the experience. We don't always get a chance to acknowledge each and every one of you individually because sometimes it's chaotic in the mornings at drop-offs or pickups, but nothing you do goes unnoticed, and we appreciate each and every one of you. You all bring something special to the classroom, and your hard work is what makes our classroom go, so we appreciate it. And so tonight we're going to kind of talk about some of our hopes and our fears and our dreams for our children, and whether it be to stay in this particular setting or if you're contemplating another setting as your child gets older. We want to look at finding the right fit for you and your child, because sometimes what's right for us may not be the best fit for our child, or what's right for our firstborn isn't always the best fit for our secondborn. And maybe we can't change those things, like maybe they have to go to the same school, but as long as you know that maybe it's not the best fit, but how can we support them through this, you know, and making it an easier transition for them. So that's hopefully what we can offer you guys in moving forward in your next adventure of school. Just know that we're always here, and you can always come back, and you can always email us, and always call us, and always visit and ask us questions, even when they're going off to college. We are here, and we get parents that do that all the time, and we love it. So we love it. We love our jobs. You haven't noticed. So first, let's go around. I know many of you don't know each other. You all work on different days. Some of you aren't able to be in the classroom, and I'm so glad that you're here. So go around and introduce yourself. I'll start so I don't put anyone on the spot, and you guys can duke it out. Who's going to go next? You're going to tell us your name, the age of your children, and tell me a special memory that you have from when you were in school. And it could be something from kindergarten, 5th grade, college days, whatever. Something that made school memorable or magical, or maybe not so magical. Maybe a bad memory, who knows? So just so we can kind of get to know who's here and what's everybody. So I'm Sandy, and I have a 16-year-old that just started driving. So liberating. One less child to worry about. Well, I worry about him, but one less child to pick up and drop off, and, you know, schedule. And a 13-year-old daughter. So my 16-year-old is a sophomore at Thousand Oaks High, and my daughter is in 8th grade at Bridges Charter School. And my favorite memory, which got I remembered it today with someone else was sharing, is on Fridays, I think it was like once a month, we got to roller skate around our school. Oh, cool. K through 5th grade. Remember the pom-poms? I mean, maybe I'm a little older than you, but pom-poms on the roller skate, satin jackets. Okay.
We're the same age.
Can you picture me? It was fun. It was really fun. So that's my lunch.
I'm Charlotte. My kids are Scott, who's 5 at Bridges, and Owen, who is 17, who's 3 now, almost 4. And that's all I'm telling you except for my memory, right? Yeah. Okay.
Well, anything else you want to share is fine with us.
I moved a lot, so I was like the new kid every year, literally like every year. And that's probably like my most. It wasn't bad. It was just like I just remember always being like.
You get to start over.
That's probably my most memorable.
I'm Elena. I have a 12-year-old daughter, Brenna, that goes to Sequoia Middle School. I have a son, Gavin, that is in 4th grade that went through team, and he is at Cypress Elementary, and Cassidy is 3, and she goes on Wednesdays and Fridays. And I guess my favorite memory of school was probably outdoor ed, 5th grade. That's fun.
Were you at Amigos, Ranch?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, the stories we could tell.
Yeah.
I'm Caroline. My daughter Evelyn is 3. We're Wednesdays and Fridays. Her best friend is Cassidy, if you see the two of them those days. And then my 2 older boys are at Cypress, kindergarten and 4th grade. And my memory of kindergarten was we had a chicken coop and we were able to feed the chickens and play with them and get the little chickies when they hatched and eggs. So that was my memory from kindergarten.
That's a dream of mine to happen in team if anybody wants to support me in that.
Fun.
Wouldn't that be the coolest
I
thing?
want one for my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we had it here at school though, we would need parents to like
Yeah.
man it, but that would be, I'm gonna remember that.
That
I'll be like, you're the chicken expert.
was 1982.
Oh my gosh,
Where
that's
did
when
we
you were
were-
in kindergarten?
Where-
Yeah.
Cindy, we're old.
Hey, speak for yourself.
You're not that much older. You're not that much older.
Where did you go to school?
Down in San Pedro, LA, Taper Avenue Elementary School. So my kindergarten teacher, Miss Lindy, she had chickens and rabbits, and she kept them there. And I mean, that was the big thing of kindergarten was you had animals you could play with and feed.
Very cool.
We didn't have that at school. I had it at home, so so I can help you set it up if you. If you ever do this.
I better talk to the other teachers then. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have a memory from kindergarten, but 2nd grade I think will do probably. My kids are Zoe. She went here. She's 7. She goes to Mariposa now. And Owen, the other Owen.
The other.
He's 4, and he'll probably go to Mariposa next year as well. And then my memory from school is just playing capture the flag during recess.
I'm Holly. My daughter in class is Charlotte Boyer. She's 4. And I have 3 older children, 8th grade, 4th grade,
Yeah.
13, 13, 10,
No, pick a grade, we don't.
13, 10, 10. It doesn't matter when you homeschool. The grade doesn't matter.
Except, one is not homeschooled.
That's right. Well, you know she's 8. So I don't have any memories from kindergarten. I probably don't remember 4th grade. But I do remember this recess, time playing Foursquare, wall ball. I remember in the winter they would have snow sculpture contest, and the kids would bring their spray of colored water stuff to color the sculptures and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, we don't have that.
Maybe on snow day.
That's it.
I'm Tracy. Avery is 6.5, almost 7 in April, and she's in 1st grade at Wood Ranch Elementary. And Devin is 3, and she's in teen class Monday through Friday. And
She's our resident 3-year-old.
yes, she loves those big boys. Today she's like, oh, I forgot to say bye, Robbie, bye, Ryan. I'm like, already starting. So I don't remember much from my younger years, I guess. So I would say my most positive memories are from high school or being in the musicals and being in vocal jazz ensemble. Because I was doing something I really wanted to do, and I was sort of, starry. Yeah. Here I am. That's it.
My name is Kea. I have 2 babies. Kai, my eldest, he's 3.5. And Scarlett, my youngest, she's, I think, 20 months. Yeah.
The second one is
Yeah. I don't even know if it was boring, but. So yeah, we love it here. This is our 1st year. Favorite memory, I've always loved school. I enjoy going to school, but I'm the same way. I love doing, all the elective classes. I guess the earliest memory would be middle school. home ec classes. They don't do that nowadays, but I look forward to, the sewing, the cooking. I love all that. And I was also in chorus, so love that too. But yeah.
Okay, my name is Miyuki, and my only son is 3 years. He just turned 3, and his name is also Kai, and
Kai W and Kai
Kai
S.
W. He's Kai W, and Tuesday and Thursday, and my memory in school is I was born and grew up in Japan, so I don't have I don't know about system here. So except I took some classes in Iwata. So looking forward to know about the schools here, and my memories. I have a younger brother, like a 11 months difference.
Oh,
But difference grade.
okay.
So, but I can't remember anything about with him in school because it's a different grade. Even like a kindergarten. So we went together. But I really like to play by myself. Yeah.
So you could, like at recess, something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My name's Liz, and my son Jeremy is 4, and I have a 3-month-old Nathan. And we lived in Washington when I was in kindergarten, and I remember this huge play structure because it snowed and rained. Like everything was. I don't think we had an outside. Not like the team class. So they go. I remember the play structure being inside the school. There wasn't even like a front porch. It was like the street, a sidewalk, and they like shoved you in or out the door. There was no open area. Seattle was raining all the time. We lived in our boots. So that's like my earliest memory was that like play structure and preschool.
I'm Brandy. My daughter Olivia is 4, and what I liked about kindergarten was nap time and craft time. Good old nap time. Right? Yeah.
I'm Jane. My daughter Emma is 7. She goes to IRS, and she'll probably be here this summer for summer school. And Nathan is almost 4. He'll be 4 in February. And he keeps talking about an Owen. I don't know which.
He plays with Owen.
Michael.
Yeah.
And let's see. So my earliest memory, I made a friend, and I could count to 10, and she could count to 12. That's what I remember. And I went to a small school. It was there. It's by Bakersfield. There was no choice of schools. You just went to that school. So it was kindergarten through 12th grade. And my kindergarten teacher was still there when I graduated high school, and she was my Facebook friend.
Oh, that is so cool. That's really cool. Good one. Okay. Well, thank you all for sharing. I feel like we want to learn a little bit more. So maybe you remember, maybe you don't. Maybe you read it, maybe you didn't. Doesn't matter. But I gave you guys this handout before the break, and there'll be a test. Just want to kind of touch a little. Does anybody remember anything about it that you want to share, or should I just start going into it? I'm not putting anyone on the spot. Just
That was a long time ago.
it was a very long time ago. Even me, I had to read it yesterday. I was like, oh yeah. So I get it. Basically, what it talks about is that kindergarten has evolved in the last 10, 15 years, but children haven't. So why why are we changing something when the kids are still who they are? We used to have nap time and lots of recess and now we don't. But so that was something that was interesting. And how children are feeling more stress, discouragement, and shame in kindergarten. Now, this isn't every kindergarten, but this is a very stereotypical generalization. But majority of kids are, and that kids really need a really high self-confidence before entering kindergarten, so that they can face the stress and the shame and the discouragement, I guess. It's so Also that a lot of the pressure that's in kindergarten really comes from us, unfortunately. So it's parents that are saying, I mean, as a whole, parents are saying bigger, faster, stronger, more, because competition, fear, I don't know. Why do you think parents want?
They want their kids to be, at the top of the class or the best athlete, or, I think it's natural to want your child to succeed, but people's views of success are different.
Very good point. Yeah. So it's interesting to see, so that's why I wanted you to kind of answer some of those questions and get thinking for yourself, like why am I even sending my child to school? That's a great question. Is it because they're 5? It's a very suitable answer, very calm, yeah, that's why we send our child, right? They're 5, they go to kindergarten, woohoo, But if you take one step further, like what are you really hoping to get at the other end? What is the product for this process of schooling? What are you hoping for them to get? Do you want them to have that 4.0 and get into Harvard? Maybe. Do you want them to know who they are as a person and be confident? Maybe. Do you want them to learn a specific skill or be creative or artistic? Or, so really kind of think about what you want for your child, and maybe also think about your child and what they may want. It might be hard now to look at a 3-year-old and go, I wonder what they want. But really at the age of 3, their personality, it is who they are. There's going to be some tweaks along the way. It's okay. But it really, like their temperament, not necessarily their interest. Like my son was all about construction vehicles. I was like, he's going to build roads. That's what he's going to do. And he definitely wants to build, but I'm not sure it's roads anymore. But so it's interesting. But they're pretty much who they are at the age of 3. So it's a pretty good glimpse of what you're going to get. But think about that. Think about what are your expectations of school. When I first did this, and if you want to take an extra one to bring home to your partner, feel free. Because when I first filled this out, mine was like, I want extracurricular, and how strong is the PTA, and is there music and art and PE, and what are the after school classes? And what do they do before school, and what do they serve at lunch? And my husband was like, what are the test scores, and what's the curriculum? And I was like, who are you? We were very different. So we had to come to some sort of an agreement or understanding of, we wanted different things, but how can we both get what we wanted from a school? And then looking at your child socially, emotionally, physically, developmentally, and then do you even know what your options are? Back in the day, it was just you went to your neighborhood school, which is perfectly fine. Even today, there are great neighborhood schools. Lots of people do. And we also have the opportunity for choice out here. So if you are interested in seeing what else is available than your neighborhood school, we're going to talk about that tonight too. So we're lucky. We live in an area where we can make choices, but it also maybe puts a little added stress on us because we're like, oh my gosh, I have to make a decision. But even saying that though, it's not an end-all decision. I really wanted my neighborhood school to be the school my children went to. I graduated high school with people I went to kindergarten with. That was important to me. It was such a great experience for me to have. I wanted my children to have that experience. It didn't work out that way. I tried to make my neighborhood school work. It didn't work. Tried to make, another school work. It didn't work. So sometimes, and are my children totally fine? They're more than fine. They're thriving. They're doing amazing. So just because they had to switch schools or one of them chose to switch a school. I was like, no, you're staying where you are. And they were like, no, I want to go there. So, it's okay. And what's right today, if it's not right tomorrow, you can fix it. So be open to that. Anybody have any questions or comments, concerns so far? And just to be a little Debbie Downer, there is no perfect school. But on the good side, there is no perfect school, so you don't have to go look for it because it doesn't exist. So what we tell parents is figure out what your priorities are. What are your core values, your family values, and your needs that must-haves? Like pick your 3, your 5, or your 10 that you're just like, school absolutely has to have before school care because I have to go to work, or after school care, or great hot lunch, or whatever it is, you know, pick whatever it is and go find that school that meets the majority. Maybe you won't hit all 10 or all 5, but you might get 4 or 7. But, you know, it's like just because your school is serving this doesn't mean you have to eat it, as an analogy. Like, you know, you can go to another school and see what they're serving, or to a different school and see what they're serving. You know, the schools are so varied now. Even in the last 12 years that my son has been in school, from the time he was in kindergarten to where they are now, there's so much difference in each neighborhood school. I mean, they all have a different personality or a different emphasis. So, you know, talk to people in your neighborhoods if you're thinking about your neighborhood school. And just because someone says it's a good school, ask them to define, what do you mean a good school? You know, what I might think is a good school is not what you might think is a good school. You know, you have to know what are we measuring here. You know, there are high test scores. Does that make it a good school? For some people, that's all that they want to know. Do they have a high test score? That's a good school. Other people, they don't really want a school with a high test score. It doesn't necessarily mean to them it's a good school. So there's lots of factors. Then we have our neighborhood schools, which are typically Conejo Valley Unified Schools. Is everybody from Conejo Valley? See me? See me? Okay. So I don't exactly know, but you might know because you've already gone through this, what the enrollment process is for CME, but I can speak about Conejo Valley.
Well, I went to the neighborhood school because we can walk there, so they do have choice though.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's February.
yeah, and Wood Ranch just last year was the first year it became a choice school in CME. It was not before because when they built it, by the time it opened, it was already too small for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, but now it's opened up to choice, and now we have a TK. So there's a TK class, there's 4 kindergartens, and there's 5 first grades.
Wow. It's a big school.
Mm-hmm.
How many students total?
6 something.
Wow.
Yeah. But Avery's class is only 23 people.
Yeah.
It's only 23 kids, where she had almost, at one point she had 27 in kindergarten. It's just. Meaning you don't have to go to your neighborhood school.
Oh, okay.
You could apply to go. You can
Choice.
lottery
Yeah.
into another school. So there are kids who switched from Madera Elementary to Wood Ranch, or who might live on the east side of CME and go to Wood Ranch. And also some of the schools closed, so they had to go somewhere. You know.
Okay, this might be silly.
No silly questions. No
But
judgment.
aren't you required by law to send your kid to school, whether you choose to homeschool or public school or private, by at least 5
I'm
years?
gonna let Holly answer this one.
Legally, in California, there's no such thing as homeschooling.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So every child who, we homeschool under a charter, and the charter that we chose has them listed as students, but we see the teacher once a month. And my children never see her. I talk to the teacher. And but you can also, there's paperwork you can fill out. It's just 1 page. It's not a big deal. And you send it to the state saying that we are our own private school with 1 student or 2 students, however many kids you have. And that's it. At that.
So they allow it. They just don't
But
call it
we-
that.
They don't call it. They say there's all these private schools we have.
So legally, though, a child has to be enrolled in school, whether it's homeschool or something, by the age of 6. So kindergarten is still optional in the state of California. You could not do kindergarten, I don't recommend it, and send your child to first grade. Not at all. But it's still optional in the state of California. So they have to just be enrolled in school by the time they are 6 years old. So, so now how it works is you would find out what your neighborhood school is, and if you don't know what it is, you could go on the CVUSD website, put in your address, and it'll tell you where you're zoned for. And then coming up in February or March, you would go to that school, and you need to register there first. Even if you know you want to go to a different school, you need to register with your neighborhood homeschool first, unless you're going to be either A, homeschooling, or B, private school. So you register with them, then from there, if you want to go to a different neighborhood school, This is only for CVSD, I don't know about
It's
the
the same.
CB, okay.
Yeah.
If you wanna go to a different neighborhood school, from there, then you fill out a school of choice. And you would say, my neighborhood school is X, but I want my first choice is Y, and my third choice, or second choice is Z. So, and then you would just wait and see if you got in, and it's based on numbers, you know, how many people are interested. That's why it's really important that you go to your neighborhood school when the year,
I think it's like isn't it the
February
first week
or
of
March.
February or something?
yeah, different schools are different, so.
I know Canadian Valley's like the first week of February, they start
Okay,
handing out the
yeah. the packets.
applications, the packets and everything.
And there's certain things that you need to have. You need to have 2 proof of residency, so they won't take a cell phone bill because it doesn't have your address.
It's
It has
usually
to be
like the
electric
trash or electric or
gas.
water.
Mhm. Or if you're renting, you can get something from your landlord,
Yeah.
something like
I
that.
had a letter from my mom saying it was part of
Yeah.
which we did.
Like somebody, last year I filled it out because my son's in kindergarten, but it's like you're applying to college.
Yeah, it's
like it's kindergarten.
And if you don't submit it in the time, they might give your spot away, even though you live in that neighborhood. If they don't know you exist, there might not be a spot for you. So that's why it's important. So then if you don't get into your second or third choice, you have something to fall back on. Whether you like it or not, it would be that school. So that's the neighborhood schools that are in at least Conejo Valley. If you're looking for other options, there's private schools, there's charter schools, and there's magnet schools. And homeschool. So, okay, homeschool, does anyone want to hear a little about homeschool? Is anyone curious at all? Do you want to talk a little bit about your experience, or you want me to? I want to
I found when my oldest was little, we did not do any kind of academic work till she was about 3rd grade because I felt like she didn't need it. We were at our own private school with one student for 3 years. You don't even apply it in kindergarten. And I felt that's what she needed, and she does just fine. She taught herself to read and all this other stuff. She's fine. And I feel like that's, if you can afford it, that's the best route to take because there's no oversight. But it's not always a matter of money. A lot of people want the support, want the emotional support, the academic support. And so there's other charter options that offer classes. The charter one offers a library that you can go in and check out curriculum and games or whatever you have, science kits, whatever. And they also give you money to buy curriculum that you want and whatnot. Anyway, but there's a lot of different charters that offer different choices and support.
If you're really interested in that, we can talk another time, because there's just like different schools in in Conejo Valley, there's so many different charters and offer different things, and they have different
Bridges.
requirements. Bridges does have a
This is
homeschool
like a feeder
component.
school. We're like a feeder school to Bridges.
Yeah, alumni from this program years ago started, when my son was here, so 12 years ago, they started writing the charter for Bridges, the alumni. What was it called, Bridges at the time, but
And
yeah.
I think from team last year, like 18 of us
18.
Yeah.
went to kindergarten.
Yeah.
It's
Like-
lottery, right?
Yeah.
So is there, so what are the odds?
We all got, everyone from team who wanted to go to Bridges.
Really?
And last year,
It's
last
like
year.
on the like, we have 500 people on the waiting list at my school, like, 'cause so many siblings. We have 44 kinder spots, 30 of them were taken by siblings.
That
So
kind
it's
of
like-
comes and goes.
That's what I was
That's how it was
wondering,
before.
like, how.
When all of our little ones who are team now are going, there's like 18 again.
Yeah.
Okay,
But,
that's
like,
why
next
I'm like,
year is
how
gonna
do you
be-
get in if you don't have a sibling?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean,
And if you're
People
on
drop
district.
all year.
Oh, yeah,
People
well,
move and
it would be a
whatnot.
long shot for us.
Yeah.
When we're out
Well,
of district,
you
or,
you never know. I mean,
it's not, I'm sorry,
It was school, you don't know.
just for Bridges, it would.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
But I know I looked because my husband works in Thousand Oaks and my mom lives in Thousand Oaks as a caretaker, and so we have a better shot of school choicing into.
Isn't PJ in Bridges this year?
PJ.
They're out of
Yeah.
district.
so it,
That's
It's
interesting. I know
a-
that you could get in.
Typically-
Everything was like.
typically, the average parent, not to stress you out, if you're not a typical parent, that's still totally okay. But typically, parents apply to 3 different kinders. They do their homeschool and then 2 others.
How many colleges I
So,
to go?
I know.
Like,
So that alone,
Like-
so just because Bridges might have 150 applicants, doesn't mean we're
For sure, yeah.
We'll get through that list though. I mean,
Yeah.
for 40 spots, not everyone's gonna go there.
Right.
So some people want to know right away if they got in, so if they don't hear in March, they got in, they're not gonna, they're gonna take their second
That's how our
choice.
wait list is
So,
started.
yeah,
The
don't,
one I work at.
And I mean, this year, my class, there's still spots available. I mean,
That's
if
so
someone wants to
interesting.
transfer
I had
there,
no
there
idea.
are more
because
spots.
it's not, people think that they know what they want to do and Bridges might not be the right choice for them. So they might, you know, yeah.
Well, and when I was trying to get Avery into Bridges, there were 22 siblings returning.
So that was an entire class.
For 44, so it was like a full, you know, and we're out of district.
150
Right.
So,
Yeah, the odds of getting in.
I was like, after they put all of the siblings in, I was like 15th or something, or on the wait list, or after the district people. I was 15th on the wait list, and the day before we started at Wood Ranch, we got a call saying, "There's room for you."
And you have to be willing. That, like,
Yeah,
you
and
can't
she
sit
was
on-
like all amped up, like, "Oh, that's my school, that's my school." So I was, you know what, we'll just give it a try and we'll see. And we've been happy with it. So I'm glad that we made that choice because it's
a lot easier
our
to do.
school.
Yeah.
And,
I always say, give your neighborhood school the first shot. If you're comparing apples and apples,
yeah.
go for it. Stay at your neighborhood school. I mean, it just makes sense, right? But if you're seeing like, oh, I don't really like this, I really like that, then, you know, but if you're cool.
Yeah, I mean, Bridges was my
go
first
for it.
choice for sure. And then once I was like, okay, I'm never getting in, I kind of shifted my focus
Right.
to. all
Maybe
right,
if they
we'll
called
just go
2 weeks
here.
before school started,
Right.
you would have been in a different place, but.
That's true.
Yeah,
So
so
we
who
might
knows?
have, yeah.
And Sandy's advice to go see your neighborhood school, don't just like apply and like, okay,
Take a
we'll go
tour.
to your face. Like, when I did this class 2 years ago, when Scott was little, I was like, I don't want it, whatever.
She's
And
like, I
I'm
bought a house in this
so-
neighborhood because I'm going to the school.
And I'm so
And I'm like, just go take a
glad
look.
that I looked at it, because like there's days that like we get in the car because I have to drive to school and I can look down the green belt and see a different school. And I'm like, I don't want to drive. But I think if I hadn't gone to see it, I'd always wonder. Like now I look at the school and I'm like, I feel bad for them. It wasn't,
I feel
like
that
I
the
walked
same
in
way.
and I walked out knowing there's no way. Like if I hadn't gotten into what we wanted, what was going to work for us, we would have homeschooled because it just wasn't. But like go see it because you can't know that unless you see it. So that's good advice.
I did that. They had, CME was having like, you could go see the schools. And our neighborhood school doesn't have TK, so I was like, I don't really want, like, why would I send them to another school, like in CME, just for, you know. But I walked into the kinder classroom just to see it, and I like freaked out because it looked like a lakeshore, like they just had all, like, it's like, do they have kids in the class, or is it like a lakeshore?
A
So
sterile,
no offense,
like a sterile environment.
it just was.
Too sterile. I mean, team is
I
not
know.
anything like sterile, but.
Right, yeah, and I don't,
Should be a happy medium,
and
right?
I'm sure it is I don't know anything about the teacher, I don't know anything,
You know
but I
kids are
walked
in our
in and I
class.
got like, it was like all the student work was in a basket, and it kind of freaked me out, and I was like, it looked like an ad for Lakeshore, which I don't know if the
Some
teacher was,
parents
so
walk into
heaven
that and
forbid
think
if
this is
any.
great. So, you know.
I teach parents who would
Yeah,
like,
love
or
that.
I teach students of parents who probably would think my classroom with all its makeshift posters looks, you know, with all the kid writing everywhere, I didn't even spelled wrong, and anyway, it freaked me out, but same thing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
What is a TK?
Transitional kindergarten.
Sorry.
So I'm gonna
Sorry.
read this because I want to make sure I get it right. They've changed a couple things in CVUSD, so I'll make sure I get the. So there's only a few of you, and I don't think any of you are here tonight. Oh, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy.
Jeremy does fall within the pre-K or the TK category.
If
So
Devin will also next year.
okay.
So 2 years.
Okay, so, so if your child turns 5 by September 1st, they can go to kindergarten.
Oh, okay. I see.
If they turn 5 between September 2nd and December 2nd, they can go to TK, which is transitional kindergarten.
Okay.
Yeah, so
And the
everyone
district
gets to get
offers
their
like 4 or 5 school sites. So Kai doesn't fit in that, so you won't even deal with that.
Okay.
For those of you that it does deal with for next year is just Liz.
It's Jeremy,
And I
yeah.
know we talked,
Yeah.
But we can chat more if you want to.
This much when I'll let you
I
know.
know.
And this, here's the worst part, is I was incredibly judgmental of the students in my 5th graders, and I'm like, it's middle school for the love. God, just pick a school, who cares? Like, why am I being mean with you about this?
I know.
And now here I am with kindergarten, but I'm TK. Okay.
I know.
So I feel like karma-wise, I have.
But I
For all
don't
the
want
times
you
I was like,
guys
again?
to feel stressed and overwhelmed. What I'm hoping is to arm you guys with tools to go out there and face those schools and ask the tough questions. And like literally, I came across, I do have a school checklist. If you guys want, I can make copies of it. And I mean, it's just a general, and you can make your own checklist, but it might be a good little guideline for you. I don't know, I got this off of greatschools.com, and it just said like, this school has, and then the little checkbox, before care, after care, transportation, hot lunch, cafeteria, gymnasium, playground, library, computer lab, just to kind of get you thinking, right? Garden, well-kept facility, safe and secure campus, blah, blah, blah. Then a place for notes. Are the classrooms cheerful and well organized? Are the teachers engaged? How do you like the adults interacting with the kids? Do the children look interested? So this could just kind of maybe get you started on making your own checklist, but it might help. If you want, I can make copies of it and put them in your boxes. Let me know at the end and I can do that. But, you know, like I said, go in with your values, your list of values or must-haves that are really important to you or your husband or, you know, whatever, that you want to make sure that that school has it. Because chances of a school having every single need that you have are pretty slim unless you just stay here. So, you guys didn't get that joke. Forever.
We believed it.
Forever. No, yeah. Once you leave here, it's over. That's all I gotta say. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know, there should be a cake
I know. People have talked about like every year, like, can we just build a commune out there? I'm like, go for it. If you build it, we'll come. Like, just. I mean, I'm here all the time anyway. I just sleep here. It's not a big deal. I love it. So transitional kindergarten. Now, all I can speak about is the district, and I know you've had experience. What school? Do you mind if I ask?
So my daughter went to Aspen
Okay.
for TK,
Okay.
and we didn't like it. It was a mild version of kindergarten, but not all the schools have TK.
Right.
And then we did school choice, and we didn't pick Aspen because I think it's kind of hard to get into.
What is your neighborhood school?
Ladera.
Okay.
She didn't get the best score.
Okay.
And it was kind of sad to leave the TK friends because she made friends, but then everyone went to different schools after. But it made kindergarten a lot easier.
What school is your older?
And then she's at Earth, which is a magnet school, so it's Earth and Science, and they have an animal lab, which is kind of nice. They ask for a lot of volunteer time from the parents, which may actually turn some parents away, so maybe that's why we got in, I don't know.
I'm going to talk about.
But the only thing I don't like is the multi-purpose room's a little small. So if there's any shows or anything like that, it's a very small room. But when they had a talent show, we just went to the middle school down the street.
That's the one in Newbury Park, right?
It's in Newbury Park by the Baskin-Robbins off of Michael.
So getting back to the differences in the schools, so I talked about the neighborhood schools. There's lots of neighborhood schools, usually about 400 to 500 kids. How many is there?
Cypress is pretty small.
Very small.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's only 2 kindergarten.
Yeah, I think it's about 450.
Yeah.
What happened when Thousand Oaks was built, they had every builder build an elementary school in the neighborhood. So, which is great, except for when all the kids grow up and people stay. And then like we got this campus 35 years ago because it closed. There were not any kids in this neighborhood. And so it was just sitting here. So adult school took it over. Anyway, so there's lots of different neighborhood schools. They've closed a couple. There's been 3 or 4 closures in the last 5 years, 6 years, just in Thousand Oaks because people aren't moving and young families can't afford to live here. Or what they've done with a couple of schools that had low enrollment for whatever various reasons, and they, instead of closing it, they turned them into magnet schools. One of them is called Conejo Open Leadership Program, and that is on Conejo School Road, which is, it shares a campus with Conejo School. And that program is very small. They have one K1 class, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 4. I think it's that good.
There's only one kid?
Maybe it's 1K and it's 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what it is. Yeah, there's just one of each. It's a smaller program. It was actually came from Horizon Hills people, thought it up, and it requires parent participation. They follow the Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Successful People, and that's the philosophy that they weave into their curriculum and their daily their habits there at school. It's I love the idea of it. I love, I wish it was the whole school. It's too, in my opinion, it's too small to really be fully successful. It is successful, but I just feel like it's too small, and there's not enough kids and parents to really, and they share a campus which has its own, can have its own troubles, but we have a lot of parents that came from this program that are very happy and very involved parents. So I don't want to, discourage you, I'm just letting you know that that's just what it is. The other thing with a magnet school is it's still district run. So you have teachers moving, principals moving, teachers that move in and out of there may or may not agree with the philosophy. Principals that move in and out of there may not agree with the philosophy, but they're at that school, so that presents its own troubles. So that's the same with Earths is also a magnet, and they started about 5 years ago, 6.
It used to be Manzanita.
Yeah, and they were going to close Manzanita.
I'm not sure. Is it 8 years? I'm not sure how long ago.
Probably.
Someone was telling me they didn't want to go there because they didn't know how graduates would transition into middle school.
Yeah.
So I think we're getting close to that.
So with the magnets, both Open and Earths, those are choice only. It doesn't matter if you live right across the street from those schools. It is solely based on choice and lottery. So everybody sort of has the same chance of getting in, unless probably teachers maybe have priority. I don't know about siblings. I can't speak to that, but if you go online, if you're really curious, you can go online and find out or find out when they're touring. But Earths has a science.
They have an animal lab, so.
But their emphasis is.
It's science. I forget the exact acronym, but it's science and technology. So the reading might be more science related, and then the topics they talk about with the kids might be more science related. Like right now they're talking about air displacement with a balloon. So for first grade.
Yeah. So that's the personality of that school. I was talking about like the different schools have different personalities. You can tell me a personality that.
And
there's
right? Uniforms.
Oh, uniforms.
What's MATES? Is MATES a charter?
MATES is a charter. That's my next one. So then there's charters. You guys all following? Or you lost? Mariposa in Agora is a magnet, so it's still under Las Virgenes. And they also share a campus, right?
With Sumac.
With Sumac, yeah.
And Sumac's more of a same slant,
Science, yeah.
Engineering, maths type of slant.
Yeah, it's a STEM.
Right, exactly. And then Mariposa is Waldorf-y.
Waldorf-based, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not Waldorf.
Esque.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's more outside time, arts.
And Mariposa is a K through 8.
Get through it, yeah.
Yeah. How many kids are at Mariposa? Do you know?
I'm not sure, but it's pretty small.
Yeah. Like 1 or 2 classes per grade level?
Max, yeah. And then by the time you get to 8th grade, there's only like one class. I think actually 7th and 8th, they just combined them.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So that's a magnet. So then there's charters, and there's 2 charters in the area that I know of. Anybody knows any more than that? There's MATES, which is art, technology. They also do a lot of performing. So I don't know, there's some
Well, that's the arts.
arts, I guess,
right?
performing arts, yeah.
I'll tell you what it's for.
And that is a charter, and that's been around about 7 years.
Are these all public schools?
Free public schools, all of them, yes. Yes, all of them. But they're outside of the district, so you wouldn't necessarily list them if you're choosing from your neighborhood school. You don't need to list if you're doing a charter. If you're doing a magnet, you would have to list that, but a charter is its own. So like
These
Caneo,
are Earths, I think you didn't have to put as your school choice, maybe.
Earths you
I
would
forget
have to.
which one, yeah, so it's Mates has
Mates,
its own.
you just apply.
Has its own thing, so
Yeah.
you didn't even have to put it as a school choice.
Right, right. It
Are they
doesn't-
both
yeah.
lottery charter?
Yes.
Mhm.
The charter ones are, so it's Meadow Arts, because it used to be Meadow Arts Elementary, right? So it's Meadow Arts and Technology. It's Arts and Technology Elementary School.
So that's a K through 5, and they, so a charter school is, like Caneo Valley Unified is a huge district. There's, I don't know, 12 or 15 elementary schools, 3 middle schools, and 3 high schools. 4 high schools? I don't know. 3, 4?
3 high schools.
Yeah, 4 middle schools, I think.
No, 4 high schools if you can count the continuation.
Yeah, that's true. So, we don't want to forget about that. Continuations. So, it's a big district. We have a district office on Jan's Road where they conduct district-y things. So there's a lot of money involved in that, right? Lots of money comes in from the state to support the district and all the schools. So when you have a charter, it becomes their own district on a school site. So everything happens within one site. So the administrator, so there's not really a principal, it's like the administrator. They do all the financials, but it's all the same money that, you know, if there's just a charter school, they get all the same dollars per student as CVUSD does per student, but with a smaller site, you're not spending as much money in overhead or things like that. So, and they have a lot more control over where the money goes. You know, with the district, it goes into these block grants, and then they have to share it, you know, between schools, and schools have to sort of vie for them, and they get what they get. So, so there's pluses and minuses to both of those. With a big district, you have lots of resources. If you need specialists, if you need therapies, you know, or anything out of the norm, I would suggest you stay with a bigger district where there's more resources than going to a smaller school that maybe doesn't have a full-time psychologist or speech pathologist, or, you know, if you need something like that, then you might want to think about being where there's more resources. What else?
Priority is given to.
I can only speak to Bridges because my kids went there. Bridges does give priority to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
They give priority to teachers, children, and siblings. And then after that, it's district, and then out of district.
And
So-
Mates, so when I visited Mates, they said it was the neighborhood
Mhm.
and siblings. I think it's about the same.
Yeah,
I
teachers.
thought there was something different. I think it's siblings and
Mates does not give priority to siblings.
to siblings. That's what it was. It's the neighborhood and then it's district.
Yes.
I think, and then siblings or something
Yeah.
funky like that.
And that's how their charter was written. So they can't change it. You know what I mean?
So what category does Bridges fall under?
A charter.
It's a charter.
Yeah. Mates and
I thought it was
Bridges are
lottery.
charter.
It is. It's lottery because, but the lottery
Well,
is
it
tiered.
only, not necessarily,
okay.
it only goes to lottery if there's more applicants than spaces. We don't know how many spaces we're gonna have next year in kindergarten. We survey our parents that are there now in March or April to see who's got a child coming in. Like, we don't know if you have a little one coming in, so we ask all of our parents.
And I feel like they did it early this year.
Yeah.
Because I was already asked. to
That
ask
was,
someone else
yeah,
if I
they're gonna
could
ask
back
again
this
though.
year.
That was to get more space, we needed more classrooms.
Oh.
But,
I feel like they already asked me.
yeah,
something,
they
like,
did.
I just started.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So we'll know how many people are coming back, and then we have to keep like a couple of spots just in case, kind of thing. If a neighborhood person shows up, and like, every school does that, by the way. And then we'll know, like, okay, there's 18 open spots. So I know as as an administration, we try and get at least 3 times the amount of applicants that there are spots because of the attrition. So it's at least 3 times. So, yeah. So don't worry too much.
No, Bridges, that's fine anyway. I know, right?
No, but
So
interesting you say that. I spoke with the administrator today about something else, and I had said I heard a rumor that all districts are required to offer TK, and because we are a district, so I don't know, and it kind of goes against the philosophy of Bridges.
We just got rid of ours, because you're not, because, yeah.
Sorry.
I completely agree. I
Okay.
can tell you more later,
Okay.
but you do not have to have it.
I will tell him tomorrow.
I can tell you
Very
the
excited.
logic, not everyone.
Awesome.
needs to.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so forget that.
That's what I was wondering, if they did, but
Yeah,
no.
no. Okay. Anybody else have any questions or comments or concerns up until now?
You know, it's because we've been out there, put our feelers in a lot of different schools, and talked to a lot of families in a lot of different schools. It's neat to see the different personalities that they have. You know, our good friends down the street go to, what's the middle one? Nate's?
Yeah.
And she loves the performing arts section of it, but she doesn't like that they don't have the healthy food policy that Bridges does, you know. I love that Mariposa has a 2-year kindergarten program, you know, how excellent is that? And it's just neat to see that there are benefits to wherever you go.
And yeah, like I said, there's no perfect, but there could be something that's.
And from year to year, it can change
Yes.
what your family's needs are.
Yes.
You know, every year our homeschooling looks different. I mean, this year I'm only homeschooling 2, you know? So it's your family's needs change, and your choice is never permanent, you know? If you make decisions that this is not the right place for us, you can always move.
We think it is like when we're on that
It feels
side of
like
it, like,
it's
oh, this
different.
is like the end all, but it really isn't. I mean, I know it's easy for me to tell you that because I've already been through it, but really, it's gonna be okay. This isn't meant to stress you guys out, it's hopefully to empower you and, right? And if you both lived through it, right? Do you have any pearls of wisdom?
And I think that, like, we go to our neighborhood school, and my daughter's in 7th grade now, and I loved every teacher she had going through. And now my son is going through, he's in 4th grade, and last year I couldn't stand his teacher. I had a very hard time last year, and if that was the same, if that was my experience every year, there's no way that I would have kept my son there. But I think that no matter what school you're at, there's going to be good teachers and there's going to be bad teachers. And I just kept on going through last year going, okay, he's never going to like every single boss he has in his life. He's never going to like every professor he has when he goes to college. So he's going to have to learn that there's different ways of doing things, and we just have to accept that. And it's 1 year, and we're going to get through it. So we lived to tell about it, and I just know that when my daughter goes through the school,
You're gonna request.
she will not have a teacher.
Yeah.
And how's the 4th grade teacher?
Great, good.
Yeah,
Yes.
because my
Our
son.
sons are actually together
Oh,
this year.
cool. Well, and they were together for 2nd grade
Uh-huh.
with Linda Legman.
Okay.
Yes.
What'd you think?
I loved Linda, and Cole had a great experience. My older son.
She's different.
She is so.
Not everybody, and she'll tell you. She's like, either you like me or you don't.
Yeah, and you know,
So-
she's a lovely person.
She is.
She's fluffy.
She is.
But not everybody likes her way of teaching.
No, right. I mean,
She is a sparkly teacher.
She doesn't
I don't
believe
even know
in.
how.
She doesn't believe in
She doesn't believe in
homework.
homework. She doesn't, you know. So
She's
it
my kind of
depends-
person.
It
Yeah.
depends on.
She's like, kids'
What I do,
brains
she's-
shut off by
But she's
2
a
o'clock,
different
so
teacher.
why give them
She
homework?
does a lot of things through song and dance.
And movement and interpreting.
Whereas so when I sat down for parent conferencing, she decided to sit and do a dance routine for me, as my husband, who's also a teacher in the district, is standing on the other side of the door going, what is going on? So she's different. I mean, my son loved her, and he adored the year of school, but she's definitely different. Then he went from that to the complete extreme.
Oh, yeah.
That is like, oh, you need a tissue? That's not loud. So it was just like
Yeah.
very different. So, and then it got to the point where she was taking things out because of the way
Yeah.
She did not like me because I would stand up to her. And so, yeah, it's like parent conference day, she's in a meeting with a special ed teacher that my son's also with. And she doesn't like the teacher, just his strong personality. Like, she doesn't care what she's saying. And she's like, just would say like rude things about my son, like just so
Yeah.
every teacher, you're gonna get it anywhere you go. There's not gonna be the perfect teacher anywhere.
And before you had her, did you hear about her?
Yes.
Wait, because you were there she was a second grade teacher.
She was a second grade teacher and then she
And then
moved
she
up.
moved to
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
So she moved up and there was only
You got
two
stuck with her.
third grade teachers. And the problem is the other class was a combo class. Wasn't the other class a combo?
Sodom was not combo.
No, it wasn't.
No.
It was the year before this
Yes.
was a combo.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was just
It's just interesting.
And it's because you hear things. That's why I asked, because I hear about the different, like, you can't go wrong K through 2 at Wood Ranch, but then third grade, and you don't want this teacher, you don't want this teacher. I'm like, well, what teacher do I want? And there might be different. And I ask why. Tell me why. That's stressful. That should be that stressful.
Interesting though, like, okay, so both my kids had the same second grade teacher, and she was a nutcase. I mean, I couldn't stand working in the classroom because she could never find anything, and it was a disaster all the time, but my kids both loved her and learned so much during that time, but literally I could not work. I mean, I work in team, come on, it's crazy. I can handle a lot, okay? So for me to be like, I can't work in your classroom, you're too crazy, that says something. But my kids, they were so engaged with her in her nuttiness, and then they were sort of like helping her because she needed help with it. She couldn't find anything. And then, here are your glasses, here's the stapler. So they were like kind of taking care, the kids were kind of taken care of. But I tell you, they both talk about her to this day as their best teacher, and they learned so much. Then there was, another teacher that I thought, oh gosh, she's gonna be so strict, it's gonna be so crazy and no way, and my daughter never flinched. It was like totally. So we have to kind of put ourselves aside and let them have their experience too. But it sounds like that experience.
She
led on
wasn't
to-
really
Well, and the thing is,
No, I know. No, I totally know.
Well, and
Yeah,
then
I
it
get
came
it.
to an issue where she had an issue with me because then I would.
No, I get it.
I
That
mean,
sounds.
during the conferencing, she literally said, started it with like how sweet my son is, such a nice kid. And then by the time after I stood up to her over the science test that she supposedly gave my son, that she never did. And she couldn't find the grade in the grade book, and I was like, it's because you never gave him the test, because he was in the special ed class when he gave the test. And she's like, then she like noticed his desk was messy, and then it was like all that. She's like, you know what, you might want to tell him a wink and a smile when we get so far in life.
Oh,
Whoa.
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that was the way my year started, and then it was like, oh, mommy, here's your Mother's Day present. It's a bookmark. I'm sorry yours isn't laminated. She didn't have time to do yours.
Oh, nice.
What happened when he was absent and she didn't even
Yeah, and it was
know she was absent from class?
just all of it. Like, it was